15 years ago, I lost on a nationally televised game show, and it's finally time to tell my story. And maybe it'll help you if you're thinking about going on a game show. Help you mentally prepare for the fact that you might squander $1 million in front of the entire country. I grew up obsessed with game shows, mostly Jeopardy, and even auditioned for the Jeopardy teen tournament. I didn't get it, but I love the process. Cut to the late 90s and early 2000s, the country was obsessed with Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That eventually died down, but the daytime version started, just in time for me to be of age to be on a game show. Summer of 2006, I saw where they were having auditions in Pittsburgh. Told my buddy Mark, I said, we are going tomorrow for these auditions. He just agreed like that. College, man. So they give you a 30-question written test. I took it, and then I looked over at my buddy and said, I think I got all of those right. He's like, no, you didn't. And then they called my number out. Said, you're moving on to a personality test. I was like, what do I do here? The driving 9 hours to be here part. That's something. It's like, no, it's the redneck part. So they asked, what do you like to do for fun? And I was like, well, I like to play basketball and chop wood and go four-wheeler riding with my daddy. I probably didn't amp it up that much, but it was something close to that, and those things are all true. A year passed, no phone call. Until my first week of law school, where they told us if you miss more than 10% of your classes, then you fail law school. They called me and said, you're going to be on the show on Tuesday. You've got to come to New York in the next few days. So went with my parents, spent my last $350 on a hotel room in the Upper West Side, and then the next morning at ABC Studios, we started about 6 hours of legal meetings. Yeah, all legal meetings, for them to basically tell you that this is not the Regis Philbin millionaire where they give you $32,000. You will not win $1 million, and you have to use a lifeline at $8,000 or $16,000 because they will trip you up. I threw out there, so when I win $1 million, the balloons and the confetti actually falls from the ceiling? And she looked at me dead in the eye and said, you will not win $1 million. I know now not to mess with very tired lawyers at 6 o'clock in the morning. So we had a lunch break, and then they showed us the actual studio. We hadn't seen it yet. It was empty, but a little scary. Like, it's tiny, but it's the studio, right, that you've seen 1,000 times before. And then it was time for hair and makeup, and then the bloodbath started. All the hopes and dreams and wishes of all the people I'd spent the last 6 hours in the green room with were dying. And not at $8,000 or $16,000, at $100,000, at $200,000. It was making everybody a nervous wreck. People were coming back into the green room crying. I got really nervous and said, I've got to go to the bathroom. So I was walking around in the studio looking for a bathroom, and a page grabbed me and said, hey, you're going up. I'm like, now? He's like, now. He's like, go through that door. I just thought it was a regular door. Nope, it was the door to the studio. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na. And there's all the lights, and there's Meredith Vieira. I can faintly see my parents up there, and I was like, 1, don't piss yourself, and 2, don't have a heart attack. I've since seen the footage of this. It does not belong on the internet. Don't try to search for it. I didn't talk a lot. If I did, it was a few mumbled words. But I was on fire. I answered 100, 200, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000. One of the scariest parts was when Meredith could not pronounce one of the words in the question. And of course, my blood pressure shot through the roof on that one, but I was able to get it. Remember the advice from earlier about using the lifelines? $8,000 question. Viscosity is the property of motor oil to resist what? It's flowing, right? Yeah. When you're about to have a heart attack on national television, or a panic attack, or either one or both, or piss yourself, you're not focused enough to say it's time to use a lifeline. So I said congealing. And then not only can you hear the heartbeat and the music and all of that in the studio when you're on the show, you can hear the collective, oh, from the audience. It was a dark feeling. It was like falling into a bottomless pit. And then you see the lights come up and you have to shake Meredith's hand and you have to start not crying in front of the entire country. Went off stage and they gave me a fake $1,000 check. I don't remember a lot after that. I remember I was very sad. I feel like I'd let a lot of people down, including myself. I remember my brother didn't talk to me for like a year because he was my lifeline and I didn't use him or any of my lifelines. A few days later, I was talking to one of my law school classmates and he said, "Hey man, take that money you got and buy something you really like. For me, it'd be a bunch of Red Bulls." I was like, nobody needs like $1,000 worth of Red Bulls. But I got his sentiment. And so I went and bought the guitar that you see me play in videos today. It was a good experience, and let me know if you are interested in being on a game show, and I'm going to be there for you when you inevitably lose. I'll see you in the next one.